Hello, Internet. Welcome to Steel River Playhouse's first ever live virtual play reading. My name is Jeff Cronin, and the other head on the other part of the screen is playwright James Odin Wade. Say hello to everybody, James.
Hi, everyone.
So tonight we're going to be presenting to you In Tongues. This is one of the finalists in Steel River Playhouse's Refinery program. The Refinery program, for those of you who don't know, is an incubator for new unpublished works. The folks at Steel River made a call out to the playwriting community and narrowed it down to a handful of shows which were selected to do live stage readings. This was one of them, and now we're bringing it to you today as well. So while this particular play wasn't selected to be the finalist and performed in the full season as a full production, we're just going to bring it to you here. So thank you, James, for coming along on board with our crazy idea and helping us continue to bring art in this world where we're all trying to find ways to connect in an age of isolation. So thank you, James.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for being so creative.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to let the world know that we're really excited for James, that although it's not being produced at Steel River, it will have its world premiere in October at the University of Lethbridge in Alberta, Canada. So congratulations on that, James.
Thank you.
All right, so this is new to all of us. So we apologize in advance for any internet glitches, interruptions from our kids, barking dogs, or any other randomness that might occur during this reading, such as live theater, even when it's virtual, right? We'll do our best to get back on track and make this as seamless as possible. So following the reading, when it gets started, James and I will go away and you'll see our actors, but we're both gonna come back at the end to your screens for a Q&A. So you'll get to ask me or James or any of the cast members a question. There is a chat function on your screen, and you'll be able to submit questions that way. So feel free to ask away about the script, the process, really anything that you want to ask us, and within reason, and we'll answer that. So finally, and here's really why we're doing this tonight. This time really stinks, right? And a lot of things are shut down, and a lot of people aren't making money as a result of this shutdown. So I want to ask you on behalf of the entire theater community that you show your appreciation for us tonight by making a donation to Steel River Playhouse or your favorite local community theater, no matter where you are in the world. These organizations still have expenses, and they're losing out on every single piece of income because they aren't able to sell tickets and welcome people into their space. So if you choose to donate to Steel River Playhouse, you can find them on Facebook. There's a donate button right on their page. You can go to steelriver-playhouse.org. There's also a big donate button right there. So if you appreciate what we're doing tonight for you, show your appreciation to the theater community that way, please. We really want to be able to we're doing our best to bring you art during this time period, and we all want to bring you art after this time period when you're able to come back in our theater. So please, if you can, give what you can. Okay, so that's over. With that, we present In Tongues. Prologue. At Rise, the interior of a cabin in the woods. It is not old, but it has had significant renovations and is now full of modern conveniences. We can see a kitchen, a living room area, and a wood-burning stove, as well as stairs leading up to a bedroom on an exposed loft. On the main floor, there is also an exit to a bathroom. There are several neatly stored banker's boxes around and a VHS tape on the kitchen island. A large travel bag is on the floor. On the second floor, Siobhan attempts to sleep. She rolls around fitfully before bolting awake. On the first floor, through the window, we see Cara walk by, a vacant look on her face. She exits.
Cara.
Scene 1. We can see Darcy, a 15-year-old girl, outside. She pushes a window open as far as it will go and wriggles on into the cabin, landing softly on the couch. She's done this before. She makes herself comfortable and makes her way to the fridge, opens it, grabs a beer, and pops the cap off with a bottle opener found in a familiar drawer. She sees a spot on the counter, licks her finger, and cleans the smudge. She drinks, walks around to the sound system, and looks through the CDs.
What'll it be today?
She excitedly finds a CD and plucks it out.
Huh.
She puts it in the player and hits play. The Buzzcocks' What Do I Get plays. Darcy bounces around, mouthing the lyrics and playing air drums, drinking her beer. She puts the beer down and grabs a broom. She sweeps around the edges of the rug. She lifts part of it up to get dirt around the edges and reveals a trap door in the floor, but doesn't react to it. She puts the rug back down and continues to sweep. Siobhan, bleary-eyed, appears at the top of the stairs. At the base of the stairs, she sees the travel bag and stops. She picks it up. Her gaze goes to the top of the stairs where Siobhan is.
Oh, shit.
Siobhan comes down the stairs. Darcy drops the bag and scrambles to turn off the music.
Hi.
Hi?
What's up?
Nothing?
Siobhan comes down the stairs. She goes over to the kitchen counter and picks up Darcy's beer.
Yours? Or maybe a better question. What the hell are you doing in my cabin?
I should go.
Might be a good idea.
Only...
What?
This isn't your cabin.
Excuse me?
This isn't your cabin. It's Cara's. I'll go.
Hang on. Do you know Cara?
She invited me in a couple times. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll go.
Wait, you should... Do you want this?
Siobhan touches the beer on the counter.
It's still cold.
No offense, but that doesn't sound super fun.
No, hey, it's totally cool. I'm cool.
Yeah, you seem very cool.
Seriously.
Are you gonna have one too?
No, but you should. I want you to.
So, I'll just...
She slowly raises the bottle to her mouth and drinks.
Cheers!
This isn't like a lesson, is it?
The lesson?
Like, you say, go on, drink it, and I start to drink it, but you're like, no, drink it all, and you stare at me, and it's really intense, and when I finish, you're like, was that your beer? And I say, no, and you're like, that's right, get out of my house.
It's not my house.
You know what? This is weird. I'm getting a really weird vibe here, so I'm just gonna...
Darcy goes for the door, but Siobhan blocks her.
You're gonna murder me, aren't you?
Wait, just wait, okay?
No, for all I know, you've broken in here to sleep for the night while on your cross-Canada killing spree.
I'm not going to murder you. I'm not on a spree.
Sounds like something a murderer would say. But statistically, it is unlikely.
Please, just tell me about her, about Cara. When was the last time you saw her?
Hey, I am not on trial here.
I'm not... You said that you talked to her, that she invited you in. When was this?
It was like December, I guess. My family and I came out here for Christmas.
Okay.
She saw me wandering around outside and invited me in. She made me hot chocolate.
Why were you wandering around in the cold?
None of your business.
So, what else? What did you talk to her about?
She gave me like a test.
What?
She said she was working on a book that involved like a mind profile of someone, and she wanted to test it out on someone normal or whatever.
She gave you a test?
No, like, it was just a conversation. She asked me questions, but she wrote stuff on a clipboard the whole time.
What sort of questions?
I don't remember all of them. They were things like, do you find yourself needing to be stimulated constantly? And do you feel guilty when you've done something wrong? And things like that. We talked about more normal stuff too. Hey, are you the sister, Siobhan?
What did she say about me? That bad, huh?
She didn't say anything specific, just...
I'm clean, if that's what you're wondering.
Just that you were going through a rough time.
It's fine. If she was factual, which she probably was, I don't come off looking great. So how many times did you see my sister?
3 or 4 times.
And why are you here now?
It was messy.
Messy.
Yeah, like school got out and we came up here for a vacation, and I kept looking in the window to see if Cara was here yet, and there was all this paper and these dirty dishes everywhere, and I thought, like, it would suck if Cara came back here and the place was a mess, especially with all her research she had to do. So I came in.
You broke in.
And I cleaned. I thought it would be something nice to do for her. She was so, like, intense, but in a cool way. Like, she was nice, but not in, like, a nice way. Like, she doesn't care about the appearance of seeming nice. She's kind, you know? Not like manners, but on a deeper level.
And what did she seem like?
Seem like?
Yeah.
I don't know. Stressed, I guess?
In what way?
In a general sort of way. Why? Are you, like, meeting her here? Or when's she coming?
When is she?
Yeah.
She's not coming. She died 6 months ago.
What?
Shit, that was not the way to say that.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I just saw her in the winter.
Okay, just sit down.
Siobhan sits Darcy down on the couch. Darcy, traumatized, drinks her beer.
What happened? Please.
She took too many sleeping pills one night. Didn't wake up.
She overdosed?
No. Well, yes, but it wasn't like...
It was an accident?
Yes, it was. I don't know what it was.
Where was she?
Here?
Here? So after I saw her in December, right after Christmas, and I went back to school, she stayed here and...
Yep.
Darcy leaps up and starts pacing.
Oh shit. My mom said that she had heard from the neighbors that there were cop cars up here and stuff, but I didn't think...
You didn't think you may have been the last person to see my sister alive?
Shit, don't lay that on me, ma'am. That's fucking heavy.
What did she say to you? What did she seem like?
She wanted to know about me. She asked me like a million questions. It felt like...
Being interrogated?
Yeah, but in a good way. Like, in a good way. She seemed like she really wanted to know all of my crap.
She didn't say anything about all this?
Indicates the boxes.
What her research was about?
Only a little? Oh, God. Poor Cara. Poor Lee and their daughter.
Jane.
Siobhan picks up her beer but puts it down again.
This is a lot. Oh my God. I'm like focusing on my own feelings, but you knew Cara way better than I did. How did you find out?
I really don't want to get into it.
Was it bad? Was it like the worst possible way?
My phone was dead and I ran into a friend on the street and he told me how sorry he was about Cara.
Oh God. I am so sorry.
It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. I just need...
Lee.
Lee?
What about Lee? What about Jane?
This weekend is really not working out like I imagined.
Jane's what, 7 years old?
Dude, you have to chill, okay?
Why aren't you there?
Where?
With your family? With Lee, helping him.
Why should I?
Because you can. You're his sister-in-law. You're her aunt. You can do something.
Like what?
Something.
Look, I'm sure Lee is fine. He's got my parents who kind of suck and they're like people. He doesn't want to see me anyway, and I don't want to be there. He doesn't want me there, and I don't want to be there.
I don't understand.
You don't have to. You don't even have to be here.
I just want to know.
I'm not welcome, and that's fine. That's fine and good and the way it has to be. Shit. I'm sad again. Just a sad sack of shit talking to a teenager who's broken into my family's cabin.
So why are you here?
Because I need to know. I need to know what happened to my sister. Cara, she wouldn't just kill herself. I need to figure out what she was working on and see if...
She's a crime writing person, yeah?
True crime writer, yeah. Did she tell you that?
Yeah, and I looked through a few of the boxes while I was cleaning up. Some of the photos in there are pretty gross. Dead people.
Yeah, that was her world.
So do you know anything about this killer, Michael Illings?
What?
Illings, the guy she was writing about. There's all this stuff about him in the boxes.
Siobhan gets up and paces in a panic.
What?
Oh, shit. No.
What's going on?
Siobhan rushes to the nearest box and pulls out a few photos and lets them fall back in.
Didn't you look in them before?
I got in a bus last night. I hadn't started.
What's the big...
What do you know about him?
He was a student at UBC in Vancouver. In 2008, he killed 5 other students: Jenny Masterson, Yvonne Nguyen, Jennifer LeVake, Stella Grant, and Petra Morgan.
They never found Petra Morgan.
No, but he did it. I'm sure of that.
Okay, what else?
He cut their tongues out and kept them in jars. At least 4 of them. It's really gross.
And?
They caught him after Yvonne's body washed up in Kit's Beach.
Did Cara tell you we knew the victims? We were both students.
She didn't tell me. Did you know him?
I always figured it had something to do with why she started writing these books, but I never thought she would actually try and write about this.
But that's what she wrote about. Serial killers?
Serial killers, rapists, yeah. Yeah, that was her whole thing. Interviewing people who did heinous things and trying to understand them.
So what? She liked Illings or something?
No. I just mean she wanted to understand him. So I guess I'm going to try understanding him.
That's kind of messed up.
She was really good at it.
What do you expect to find in all of this?
Something.
Something?
Yes. Fucking something, okay? People don't just, she was the goddamn golden child. If anyone in our family was going to OD, it was gonna be, I knew her, okay? I don't want to spend any more time thinking about Michael fucking Illings, but I have to try and figure out what the hell happened to my sister. Look, it's not much of a plan, but it's something, all right?
You're kind of a mess, huh?
What?
No, I mean, I am too. I just didn't see it at first. Can you handle all this?
Look, I don't know, man.
Darcy pounds her beer and slams it down.
I'll help you.
Siobhan laughs before realizing she's serious.
No.
Yes, I can help.
I don't even know you.
I'm Darcy.
No, Darcy.
I can, though. I've been through some of this stuff already.
Did she let you go through it?
Not exactly. Oh, come on.
No.
Why not? Come on. This is a job for like a classic duo.
We are not the Hardy Boys.
Look, I know you must think I'm just some idiot kid.
No, I'm thinking, doesn't this girl have a life? Doesn't she have people in her life that interest her besides my dead sister and her husband? I'm thinking, why doesn't she just go home?
Home sucks.
What do you mean home sucks?
Home sucks.
Look, man, I perfected the stoic, screwed up teenager a long time ago. So you're going to have to give me something if you want to stay here.
My mom's boyfriend thinks he knows something about me because he snooped through my goddamn phone, and now he's acting really weird about it.
Mm-hmm.
I found a tape recorder. I haven't listened to what's on it yet.
Show me.
So I get to stay?
God damn it. You can help me organize some case files, but you have to do exactly as I say, and you cannot tell your parents.
My mom, you mean? Daniel is not my parent.
Don't tell your mom, don't tell Daniel.
Like I tell Daniel shit.
They shake hands. Darcy grabs the tape recorder from out of a nearby box and hands it to Siobhan. She holds it for a moment and then puts it down.
Let's wait on that a minute. I haven't heard her voice in a while. Let's see what she was working on first.
Don't worry, we'll crack the case.
Darcy grabs a few papers out of a nearby desk and hands them to Siobhan, who leafs through them.
Looks like an outline and a few chapters. That's a start.
What do you mean he doesn't want to see you?
What?
You said that Lee doesn't want to see you. Why?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. You did say that. You said Lee doesn't want to see you.
Darcy?
What? I'm just asking a question.
Well, stop.
Look, I'm basically your partner in crime solving, and we already know far too much about each other anyway. You may as well just spill it.
Darcy, I don't know you. No offense, but we aren't exactly friends.
Well, what makes someone a friend?
I don't know. I guess I know things about my friends.
You want to know a secret about me?
No, I was actually saying that maybe we don't have to know each other's secrets.
No, I get it. Telling you a secret is crucial to you trusting me. Okay.
You don't have to.
I wrecked Daniel's motorcycle.
Your stepdad?
Ugh, he's not my stepdad.
Okay.
Anyways.
You do not have to.
So Daniel has this like old motorcycle that he won't shut up about and like talks about constantly. It's so annoying. So he brings it up here on a trailer to like work on. 2 days ago, he demands I wash the stupid thing. And I'm like, no. But he gives me this whole lecture and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I go to the garage and I see his motorcycle there and I push it over, which didn't really scratch the itch. But then I noticed some rope laying around.
Oh boy.
So I tie his motorcycle to the back of the car's like trailer attachment and I take his keys and I drag his motorcycle down the road.
What road? This road? The gravel road?
That's right, for 14 minutes.
What happened after 14 minutes?
The police showed up. Like, Christ, Mrs. Penderly, watch your soap operas and stay the hell out of my life. Like, you see a car dragging a motorcycle behind it at 2:30 on a Friday afternoon, maybe you should just stay out of it. Anyways, the cops came and it became a whole thing. Like, what laws did I break?
Do you have your license?
I mean, other than that.
Right.
But screw him, right?
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
You're a little scary. Do you know that?
So, tell me why Lee doesn't want to see you. I mean, assuming we're partners.
Siobhan exhales and paces around.
What is the big deal?
I took Jane to the aquarium one afternoon about 2 years ago. Lee was going to meet us there after work. Anyway, I lost her. We found her. I mean, Lee did. It was like an hour. It was like 2 hours. And I was really high, which is not an excuse, but it was not as if she was going to leave the aquarium without getting noticed. And it took me a while to...
Where was she?
She was over by the belugas. She was fine.
Uh-huh.
All right, yes. Yes, I know. I see your face. I'm not an idiot. I had a problem, but I haven't used since then. Not saying I'm a goddamn saint or anything, but this was about the worst thing that happened. Lee was furious. Cara was disappointed, which was somehow worse. Anyways, I need to get this done, and I need to leave, and I need to keep Lee and Jane outside of my goddamn blast radius. I am the last person either of them needs to see right now. Okay?
Wow.
Okay.
A lot to process there, but yeah. Cool. Trust.
Look, can we please...
Yep.
Actually?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now we're like officially detectives. I'm the young upstart with a lust for danger, and you're the grizzled older cop with a drug with a past.
Oh, and you're so innocent, little Miss Break and Enter.
How dare you? I broke in here to keep the place clean. The fact that I'm drinking the beer is simply a fair trade for my labor.
All right. Well, how do you want to begin this murder investigation?
More beer, I think.
Slow down, cowgirl.
Let's make a crime wall.
A what?
A crime wall with like a big cork board with photographs and evidence stuck to it.
Like on TV?
Exactly.
Okay.
Cool. I'll see if I can find some red string.
Darcy begins rooting through drawers.
Red string?
Yeah, there's always red string. How else do you connect stuff?
Good point.
Darcy pulls a roll of red string out of a kitchen drawer.
Huh. See, your sister knew what was up.
Maybe she just watched a lot of TV.
Did she?
Actually, no. She never watched TV.
Siobhan brings a corkboard over to the kitchen island. Lee enters from the front door. Siobhan and Lee look at one another.
So what else? I guess like push pins and, I don't know, lots and lots of photographs.
Lee loudly drops his keys by the door, and Darcy finally notices him.
Lee!
She runs up and hugs him.
Lee, oh my God.
Who's this?
I'm Darcy.
Uh-huh. You can stop hugging me now.
Right. Cool. Right.
She lets go of him and then gets super awkward as she looks back and forth between Siobhan and Lee.
What are you, crime fighting?
Sort of. I have acquired a plucky sidekick.
Lee comes in and opens one of the files in front of Siobhan. He closes it. He inspects the outline binder. He closes his eyes.
Is this her outline? For the book?
I'm going to finish it.
What? With what?
With my brain.
And me.
And Darcy.
No.
No to what?
No. No to all of this.
Lee, why are you even here?
I put in a door cam last year.
And you thought I was, what, robbing the place or something?
Or something.
Where's Jane?
I left her with your parents, who are eager to know where you are, by the way. Siobhan, what are you doing? And who is this?
I'm Darcy.
Why?
I have to. I have to get the whole story to know what she was thinking if she...
You must have figured it out by now. She was writing about him. She couldn't handle it, thinking about it, reliving it. So she must have gotten so overwhelmed that we should just put this shit away and never look at it again.
Lee begins gathering up the folders, but Siobhan blocks him.
Who do you think Cara was? She could handle writing about Michael Illings.
Clearly she couldn't.
She knew what she was doing. This was her job.
She was the smartest person I ever met. She could have been a goddamn astronaut if she wanted to. But no, it had to be this.
This is what she wanted.
Look what happened.
And we don't know what happened. I need to know if she actually...
Why do you want to put us through all that? I'd sooner set all this shit on fire than go through it again.
And that'll fix it? Seriously, it'll what? Erase everything, give you closure, give us closure? Because if so, fucking do it, man, I want you to. I would much rather be working as a canoe guide in Mongolia than standing here looking at you and all the shit that's in your eyes.
Then why are you?
She believed in the work she did. She's in the work she did.
No, I need to know why you, Siobhan, need to be the one to figure it out.
I lost her. I wasn't around in her life, and I need to find her again. Even though it's too late, even though it's selfish, I need to know who she was at the end. If she did this to herself, I need to know why.
Siobhan, Michael Illings was a murdering psychopath who killed people we knew. That's enough to fuck someone up. You should know. Shit. I mean...
There's more, Lee. We found her tape recorder.
No. I don't want to hear it. She went to a place that she couldn't come back from. And I did nothing.
It was her choice.
This is the past. We lived through it. Wasn't it bad enough then? I don't want to live in it a second longer. She obviously couldn't.
Look.
Siobhan, this is a sickness. We're letting it spread when we should just hack off the limb.
You don't get to decide that.
I was her husband.
I was her sister.
Some sister. Would have loved to have her around.
You didn't want me around.
I never said that.
You just thought it.
You did lose my 5-year-old daughter for a couple hours.
And that's not why you don't want me around, is it?
This is done. We are not doing this.
He reaches for the tape recorder on the counter, but Darcy grabs it.
Leave that alone.
Darcy looks at him, but doesn't relinquish it.
Marcy?
It's Darcy.
Give it to me, Darcy. Now.
Lee.
I'm serious.
Darcy backs away with it until Lee is close to her. She presses play on the recorder. Lee stops. Separately, Cara and Michael become illuminated.
Wednesday, December 12th, interview with Michael Illings at 2:10 p.m. Edmonton Corrections Institution. Hi, Michael.
Michael opens his mouth to speak, but Siobhan shoots Darcy a look, and she hits the stop button.
Shit. She visited him.
It's been almost 6 months since I heard her voice.
It's okay.
Where have you been, Siobhan?
I had to go.
Are you...
I'm clean. 6 months.
I'm so angry all the time, and I don't want to be.
We should listen to the tape. We'll find something here, some idea of what happened. Can you stay for a bit?
I can stay for a bit.
Okay.
I don't know if I can help, but staying away from here wasn't working either.
We'll figure it out. Let's listen to it. At least some of it.
Fine. Darcy, I'm sorry I was an ass.
Sorry I broke into your cabin.
What?
Darcy, press play.
Wait, no. Wait.
Lee,
Just not now.
why not now?
Darcy presses play. Scene. We hear the sound of a tape recorder button being pushed and the slight hiss of the tape spooling. Cara and Michael sit at a small metal table. Cara talks along with the recording until we hear her voice live after a few moments.
Wednesday, December 12th, interview with Michael Illings at 2:10 p.m., Edmonton Corrections Institution. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Is that it? Hi?
You're the interviewer.
Cara reaches into her bag and pulls out a stack of letters. She bangs them down on the table.
You got my letters.
2 a year.
I had almost given up.
No, you hadn't.
No, I hadn't.
So now I'm here. What do you want?
It's not what I want.
Right. No, of course.
I don't understand why you're so resistant to the idea of writing a book about me. I mean, it seems like an interesting subject matter and probably would be great for both of us.
We are not in the same business.
No? Well, in any case, you have a unique perspective on everything that happened. We were friends.
Big deal.
It might be. It might be a very big deal.
Michael, everyone I know, everyone you knew, has worked very hard to put this behind them.
Except you, right? I mean, you were friends with this notorious person, and then you wrote 5 best-selling true crime books.
You're taking credit for my career?
No. I'm simply stating that our time in university was a formative experience for both of us.
Formative, more like it.
Good, right? See, that is great. Use that.
I am not writing a book about you.
Why not? I think that we've established that.
I don't want to.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. Okay.
What's interesting?
I just didn't realize you were in denial.
What?
It's no matter. It's interesting. It's interesting, though, that you brought and turned on your tape recorder.
Standard practice.
In your writing.
In my life.
I see.
I don't know why I came here.
Why did you come here?
I was visiting some family.
Really?
This was a mistake.
She puts the letters back in her bag.
Petra Morgan.
What about her?
They never found her.
What's your point?
What if you did?
What if I?
Yeah.
You're saying? Implying that if I, then you would.
Quite a feather in your cap. And of course, it might make you feel better karmically or what have you.
Feel better? For what?
Listen, Cara, now I think that this would be a worthwhile exercise for you to profile me in one of your books. I mean, add something meaningful to the pool of knowledge about violent individuals, etc. I mean, you could write it at the cabin. Now, I could just as soon ask somebody else. God knows I've had offers. I just thought because of our friendship, I would reach out to you.
Because of our friendship?
Right, if we can call it that.
You murdered 5
Or officially.
of our classmates.
And?
Cara stands.
And maybe I'm too traumatized to write about this. Maybe I don't want to put my family and friends through a press tour about your murders. Maybe I don't care whether Petra Morgan gets found or not. Maybe you didn't even kill her. Maybe it's been a long time and I just don't give a shit anymore.
After a moment, she takes out her notepad and a pen.
All right, let's begin.
Click. Scene. Lights back up at the cabin. Lee takes his finger off the stop button and paces. Siobhan and Darcy are nearby.
Oh, wait. She knew him?
I mean, a lot of us knew him.
What was that? All that friendship shit. What were they? What does that mean?
Look, a lot of people knew him.
In passing, he wrote her letters? She knew him. Did you know this?
Hey, look, you never even told me she was writing this.
Why didn't she tell me when we first met?
Tell you what, that she knew the guy?
No. This is not they had a class together. They had a rapport or something.
You and Cara started dating after he was arrested. It's not the easiest thing to say to a person.
So Cara was friends with a serial killer? Sorry.
She should have told me.
Maybe she was worried you'd talk her out of it.
I would have.
They had a few classes together, all right? It's not that big of a deal.
It's kind of a big deal, though, right?
Yes, Darcy, it is kind of a big deal. He seems to think they had a connection.
And she didn't seem to think that, obviously. Maybe that's why she never mentioned it.
Maybe.
Maybe, yes. Good.
Lee releases some tension in his body. He notices the VHS tape on the kitchen island.
Is this yours?
A horror movie on VHS? Yeah, I brought it special. It's Darcy's.
I rented a video, so what?
Well, the VCR isn't plugged in, so...
Well, maybe I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Or maybe I just want to look at the cover art. What's with a third degree?
Okay.
See? It's totally normal. No big deal.
You're not doing research, are you? Like serial killer research?
What?
I was just thinking about what he said. Like, aren't we in the same business? Like, do you think she felt like he had helped her career, by killing people?
Oh, come on.
I'm serious.
This is so you. You are somehow complicit in everything.
And you're not at fault for anything. Pretty great team we make.
What was he like?
Who?
Illings. Siobhan said you all knew him.
Well, he was in classes with Cara. We had some mutual friends. We didn't really know him all that well.
I talked to him a couple times. What? I mean, I didn't actually know him, but he was around. He was interesting, or I don't know. Christ, he was around, that's all.
He was a fucking psychopath, Siobhan. Why are you massaging this point?
Treating him like a monster isn't going to get us any closer to the truth.
We're trying to figure out what happened to Cara, not diagnose the personality traits of psychopaths.
Well, that's what she was doing. So maybe we try and get in her head a little.
So, what was he like?
He was an interesting guy. Well-read, intense energy, hated small talk. When you talked to him, he focused really intently on you. If you didn't have something to say, then he would just move on.
So he didn't talk about the weather and stuff.
Right. But people liked him. It's kind of nice to feel that spotlight on you. And Cara hated small talk too. They were kind of perfect for each other.
What?
Nothing. Just they had some things in common.
He asked about the cabin. About this place. on the tape.
What?
Oh shit, he did.
Well, they knew each other. She probably mentioned it.
Siobhan,
What?
how well did they know each other?
They slept together a couple times. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Here?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
How did it happen?
Siobhan looks at her, annoyed.
I'm just curious how it happened. Maybe it'll help us understand.
How?
Tell her, Siobhan. I want to know, too. It'll be interesting. Sociologically.
Forensically.
Forensically. Thank you, Darcy. Tell us, Siobhan, for forensic reasons. You see, it's all very scientific.
I shouldn't even have said anything.
Siobhan tries to retreat around the kitchen island, but is blocked on both sides by Lee and Darcy.
Why? You know, this is such macho caveman bullshit.
Yeah, it is. You think I'm any better than that?
I thought you were.
Tell him.
Fuck off, Juno.
Siobhan.
She liked him, okay? She liked him, and they spent time together.
How much time? She clearly brought him here.
It was over the course of a summer. The summer before everything happened.
So she really liked him.
Well, it's not like he walked around with a sign that said, "Soon I will be a serial killer." He was handsome, an intelligent guy, and she liked him.
When did this start?
I think it was a party at the end of our second year.
And when did they break up?
Just before school started in the fall semester. They came back from here one weekend, and that was it.
Before the murders.
Yeah, a couple months before.
And why did they...
I don't know. I think she ended it, but she never told me why.
Do you think he was like violent or?
No, I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, after that.
After that was me.
Lee, you have to understand, he seemed like a totally normal...
Seemed. He wasn't, though. It was all a carefully constructed manipulation of everyone around him. I just can't believe she fell for it.
It's convenient for you to think that. You think if you had known him better, you would have seen through his facade or whatever?
You did.
What?
You haven't told me what you thought of him. You must have had an opinion about your sister's summer fling.
I didn't like him. There was no red flag. It was more like I didn't like her with him. She got cold or something internally, and it's not like she was always the warmest person, but it was worse with him.
What are you saying about her?
Nothing.
She wasn't like him at all.
Lee, you knew her better than anybody. Didn't you ever?
Yeah, I did know her better than anybody, and she wasn't... Sure, she could be focused and distant and wrapped up in her work, but she wasn't...
I'm not saying that there was something wrong with her. We might need to be open to the idea that there was something more going on with her than we knew about.
This is such bullshit. I don't have to listen to this. You have fun, Siobhan, shitting on her memory. I don't have to be a part of it.
Lee starts putting his coat on.
What about Jane?
He stops.
What?
What if that coldness is in her too?
Are you about to tell me what's best for Jane? She's the one with the dark hair, about yay high, in case you need to give someone a description.
I get that you don't like being around me, Lee. I get there are reasons. But don't you want to know? Isn't it better to know?
Lee sits, still distressed. He motions for Darcy to hit play. She does. Scene. The interview room again.
I'm wondering, before we get too far into things, if I'm going to get any chit-chat.
What?
You know, I've read some of your books, and in one of them you talk about making your subjects comfortable by bringing up a seemingly unrelated topic in order to put them at ease.
And you want to know...
Do I get any?
Your first victim was Stella Grant. How did you know her?
I read from your bio that you married Lee. Pretty bland guy, but nice enough, I suppose. What was your sister's name? Sinead?
Siobhan.
Right, Siobhan. How is she? I always thought that those two would end up together, but shows what I know.
Are you done?
What's wrong with a little small talk?
The reason that I'm not offering you any of my signature chit chat is that I don't need to make you comfortable. You are always comfortable. So, pretty please, answer my fucking question.
She was in my econ class, I think.
You think?
I think.
She was. Econ 1300.
Great, mystery solved.
Can you describe her?
Dead. Bad joke. She had an interesting nose.
Interesting how?
It was weird, imperfect. I mean, perfection is just boring. I mean, you have to interrupt it a bit in order for it to become interesting.
And why did you kill her and cut her tongue out?
Don't know. I'm waiting for a brilliant expert on serial killers to come along and tell me.
I don't need to be here. If I want to write about you, I can do it from the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, I remember when you were learning about this stuff in university, and at one point you said to me, the worst way to know somebody is by what they say. Their behavior is who they are. Now, someone might claim to be an environmentalist, but the test of that is not whether they can describe the effects of carbon in the atmosphere, but what they do because of that belief. And here you are saying really smart things about how you could do this job without needing to be here, and yet here you are, being here. And don't leave. It won't be productive, because you'll just be thinking about this anyway. Look, there's a lot on your mind, you have a limited time, and you haven't even started to ask the good questions.
I've been trying to figure out if I'm a psychopath.
Really? And what brought that on?
I don't know. If I feel the things I'm supposed to feel.
Like what?
I've spent years looking through grisly murder files and interviewing victims, families, and just really looking at the worst people and the worst crimes imaginable.
And you don't really feel one way or another about it?
I used to. I think I used to. And then here I am, years into this career, asking a mother how she identified her son's mutilated corpse and not being satisfied with her answers and pushing her until I got the answer I wanted.
What was the answer you wanted?
A mole just behind his ear. If you are one, you don't empathize with people. You can't love properly. But I love Lee.
But not as much as he loves you, right? You love him at all?
I think so. I don't know. I want to.
Click. Scene. Lee has pressed the stop button. The three of them are in a tense silence around the recorder. Finally, Darcy walks away.
Wow.
You have something to contribute?
No, just wow,
No, maybe you can explain it to me.
Hey, can we just...
Come on. What was so wow about that?
Look, I don't want to upset you.
Who's upset? My wife was a psychopath and didn't really love me.
Lee.
I just want to make sure you're having fun, that this is fun for you.
Siobhan takes his arm, but she shrugs it off.
I think I have had enough fun for today, so why don't you just fuck off?
Tears in her eyes, Darcy pushes past Lee and runs out the door and closes it.
Darcy, hey! What the hell did she do? I'm grieving too. It doesn't mean you get to be an asshole.
Lee, massaging his neck, looks at the floor and nods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit.
Lee, are you...
She loved me. I know she said...
I know that. I know that. You don't have to justify yourself to me.
I just...
No, don't do that. She loved you. Of course she did.
But not as much.
She loved you as much as she was capable of.
Which was how much? I'm so angry. If she knew what she was doing, then it means she didn't care about leaving Jane alone, or me.
We don't know that.
And if she was just careless, why would she leave us?
They're holding hands. They get closer. Siobhan looks at Lee. Lee dumbly looks at her hand in his.
I miss her.
I miss her too.
I miss you.
I know.
I get them confused.
That's okay.
It's not you. You have the same eyes. I don't want to confuse one thing with...
I don't care. I don't care.
She kisses him. They kiss for a long moment. She takes a step back from Lee, takes off her shirt and throws it on the floor. She turns around and climbs the stairs to the bedroom overlooking the living room. Lee follows her. At the foot of the bed, she looks at him. He removes his shirt and she burrows into his chest. She holds her face up to his and he kisses her. Within moments, they are more animal than human.
Oh God, Cara. Shit. Oh Jesus. What is wrong with me?
Don't stop. You can think about her if you want to.
She rolls him over so that she is on top and rides Lee. Her eyes are closed. About a minute passes before Lee suddenly moans and relaxes. Lee breathes heavily, now half asleep. Only Siobhan sees Cara enter. Siobhan is transfixed by Cara as she crosses into the interrogation room. Michael gets up and goes to her. Siobhan rolls off Lee in a panic. Lights on Michael and Cara vanish.
Siobhan?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Come here.
She slides under his arm and nestles against his chest. Time passes. They are asleep. Darcy enters downstairs with 2 large pizza boxes and another VHS tape on top. She puts them all down on the counter.
Lee, Siobhan, I brought peace pizza. I thought we could...
She looks around and sees Siobhan's shirt on the floor. She looks to the second floor and puts it together.
Should have seen that coming.
Darcy goes over to the stereo and begins blaring the buzzcocks again. Siobhan and Lee bolt awake. Siobhan throws on some clothing and comes downstairs. Darcy eats pizza.
Darcy!
Turning down the music.
Oh, hey, I brought pizza.
Thanks. You didn't have to. We were...
Hungry. I know. Gather round. You two must have really been hungry.
Lee comes downstairs.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm sorry about...
It's okay.
They all stand around the island, eating awkwardly. Siobhan picks up the new VHS tape that Darcy brought in.
Did you bring in another one of these? Did you watch the first one?
VCR still isn't plugged in.
I just like renting videotapes, okay? Maybe I should ask what you guys talked about while I was...
She likes renting videotapes. Good enough for me.
Me too.
Darcy puts down her slice and brings the tape recorder over.
Should we keep going?
I don't think that's a good idea right now, Darcy.
It feels like we're getting close to something.
Look, I think maybe Lee needs some time before we do this.
Lee presses play. Scene. Cara and Michael at the prison.
Why am I telling you this?
Who else could you tell this to?
Why did you kill Stella Grant?
Oh my God, we're still doing this. Oh God, I don't know. Okay, Cara, I just wanted to. A crime of passion or something.
Why did you cut out her tongue?
As I said, I'm still waiting for your devastating insight about that.
Why didn't you kill me?
I think that's your first good question.
Why am I so special? We spent a whole summer together and you never did anything. And then a few months after that, you killed 5 of our classmates.
Or officially.
In the span of 4 months.
Do you remember the duck?
No.
Really? Well, I will never forget the duck. We were up at your family's cabin that summer and we went for a hike. And at some point we heard a noise and saw a duck in some shallow water. It was all banged up and its legs had been shattered and by a big rock that had fallen over. Now, I wanted to keep going, but you insisted we stop. That was making this horrible, awful sound. And, I just wanted it to stop. But you walked out into the water and knelt down in the stream. And then you stroked its feathers for a moment until it stopped quacking. And then you just picked up a rock and bashed its skull in.
It was in pain.
But you weren't. It was the easiest thing in the world for you. The next day we drove back to the city and you broke up with me, which I thought was really strange because I thought that we really saw each other that day.
I asked you a question.
I'm answering it.
No, you're not. Not really. You think it will expose something you don't want people to know, or...
No, Cara, not something I don't want people to know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't have to pretend. Not with me. I think I understand. This book, this interview, is about your absolution, not the truth.
That's absurd. You're the one who can't...
Why did I cut out their tongues? They talk too much. Okay, they talked all the time and they had nothing to say and that made me angry. Or maybe my mother always told me what to do and from then on I couldn't stand it when any woman told me what to do. Or maybe I just find them aesthetically pleasing. What does it matter? You asked me why I never hurt you. But you already know the answer. Even if you've convinced yourself that you don't. The reason is because...
Cara panics and pushes the stop button on the tape recorder. Scene. Darcy, Lee, and Siobhan are standing around the tape recorder, listening to the empty hiss of the tape.
What the fuck?
There has to be more on this.
Siobhan fast forwards and hits play. Nothing. She does it again and again. Lee paces away from them. Siobhan frantically looks around.
Is there another tape?
There's no other tape. What was he gonna say?
It sounded like maybe she felt guilty over something.
And what about Petra? He was going to tell her where she was buried.
Maybe she thought she could do it without him. I mean, this place is littered with maps and interviews and copies of case files.
Yeah, but what was he going to say?
Nothing. He was going to tell her some bullshit to mess with her head like he was doing the whole time. We can't take any of this as true.
There's clearly something going on here, Lee.
Why? All this tape proves is that he's a manipulative piece of shit. Is that news? Is that interesting? And we're just going right along with it. Why did I think any of this was a good idea? You know, actually, the best idea I had was the very first one. We take every photograph, every file, every interview in each one of these boxes, and we burn them. Why not? We've got a big wood-burning stove.
Lee busies himself preparing the stove, dragging boxes over, crumpling paper for kindling.
Cara worked hard on this.
And now it will keep her loved ones warm for a night instead of bringing them misery. It sounds pretty good if you ask me.
Lee, do you think it's possible Cara was a psychopath?
Cara? Your sister? My wife? You think she was a psychopath? No, Look, just because her love wasn't exactly warm doesn't mean it wasn't...
What do you mean, wasn't warm.
You knew her. I mean, at least a little. She was direct. She wasn't sentimental. She didn't give hugs. She didn't always stick around on holidays, but that doesn't mean a person's a psychopath.
She didn't hug?
Not if it could be avoided.
Not even Jane?
She loved Jane. Some people struggle to show it, that's all. And psychopaths, they don't feel guilt or remorse.
So you do think she felt guilty? Then maybe she did do it to herself.
No, you're twisting it all around. It's him. It's just him. He did this to us, to them, all those years ago. And now her. She wanted to be here. She had a 7-year-old, for Christ's sake. Who does that?
I don't know. I want to know.
Not her, okay? She was stressed out because of this research. She couldn't sleep, and she needed to sleep, and she took too many. It could happen to anyone.
Half a bottle of pills.
So you're asking me to believe?
I'm not. I'm asking you to consider.
He searches the kitchen drawers.
No more considering. No more pondering the implications of, Siobhan. Time to be done with it. Time to move the fuck on.
He finds a box of matches, but Siobhan snatches them away.
Give those to me.
No, we don't know what happened to her yet. What she was thinking.
I know what happened. I just told you.
There's more. You know there's more. We need to know.
You're never going to know. Maybe she accidentally overdosed. Or, you know what? Maybe she just fucking killed herself. But what you don't understand is that most of the time, people don't get to know why. And even if they did, it would probably hurt even more. You two at least have each other. So maybe don't fuck that up.
Lee grabs the matches from Siobhan.
Lee, don't.
What does it matter, Darcy? If we're never going to know and it's all just fucked.
Petra.
What about her?
They never found her.
Why is that my problem?
Because she's someone's Cara. You buried a body. You have some sort of closure. What does Petra's family have? We could do this. It could mean something.
Lee hands Darcy the matches.
That's not good enough.
What?
You two are just gonna swap out Cara for Petra? You feel great about that?
Darcy's right. We're not going to get the answers we want. We might as well try to do some good with all this stuff.
Help us.
God damn it.
Siobhan grabs Petra's file and throws it down on the kitchen island.
All right, let's go over this again.
Time passes. The three of them sit there with the case file. Siobhan is frustrated and checked out.
It looks like a bunch of things were missing from her dorm.
Like stolen?
Well, her mom says in this statement that a bunch of her regular clothes and accessories weren't there in her dorm. Like she had these silver earrings she always wore.
It doesn't sound valuable enough to rob.
Maybe they weren't robbed.
Or maybe she was wearing them when she went missing.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying there were like a bunch of outfits that were missing. Like, look, her mom said there was this light blue sweater missing, her favorite jeans.
Don't you think it's possible that she just gave them to the Salvation Army?
Lee, will you please think like a detective?
How am I not thinking like a detective?
You're not like yes-anding my ideas.
That's a rule of improv, not police work.
Well, I think it's a good rule.
Siobhan stands up abruptly.
Hey, sorry, I need to get some air.
Lee touches her shoulder but gets no reciprocal affection.
You okay?
Yeah, I just need to step out for a minute.
Okay.
You guys are doing the right thing. Keep going. I'll see you in a few.
All right. It's okay.
Darcy and Lee get back to work.
Okay. Why don't you finish the pages you've got, and then you can present me your grand theory.
Ugh, fine.
Siobhan surreptitiously takes a blazer from the hall closet and the car keys from beside the door and exits. A moment later, we hear a car starting up.
What the fuck?
Darcy and Lee get up and look out the window.
Why is Siobhan in your car?
He runs out the door.
Siobhan, stop.
The car sound fades away in the distance. Lee comes back in, exasperated.
She took my car.
Where the hell is she going?
Oh, shit.
Scene. The prison. Michael sits at the table. A buzzing sound occurs, and Siobhan enters.
Hi?
Hi, Michael.
I don't think you're on my approved visitors list, Siobhan. I keep it well curated.
You gonna call a guard? There's one right outside.
I have to say, I'm entirely too curious about how you got in here. Have a seat.
Siobhan sits down. She takes out the tape recorder and presses record.
You mind?
Not at all. Okay, so you swiped Cara's driver's license and put your hair in a tight ponytail to look more like her. And you're here because Cara couldn't come.
She died 6 months ago.
Really? How?
She had accidentally overdosed on some sleeping pills. Or maybe not accidentally. That's kind of why I'm here.
You want me to tell you if your sister took a lethal dose of sleeping pills?
I want you to tell me what you said to her at the end of your last interview. It was just before she died, and...
And she stopped the tape. So this must be pretty fortuitous for you.
Fortuitous?
As I remember, you always had a thing for Lee. It was weird when you pushed him on Cara after she and I broke up.
It's not that weird. I didn't like you with her.
You just didn't like me.
That's also true.
I also remember that you never had much career ambitions, so I imagine getting to finish her book makes that decision for you, at least for the time being. So you get to make money and fuck your sister's husband. Not bad, all things considered.
I didn't say I was finishing her book.
But you are fucking your brother-in-law. Now, look, I certainly don't blame you, okay? It must feel a little strange to take over your dead sister's life, though.
That's not what's happening.
Says the woman using her ID.
What did you say to her when she stopped the recording?
She wanted to know, with everything I had done, why didn't I ever hurt her? And you want to know...
The same thing.
No. You've been looking through her research and found there's a piece missing. After all, a woman with a promising career and a new family doesn't just up and kill herself. And she did, by the way, kill herself. Just one man's opinion. I mean, whether you're admitting that to yourself or not, you came here to find out why.
So why? What's the missing piece?
That's our business. Sorry. Can't help you.
What if I offer you something?
What can you offer me, Siobhan?
I'll finish it.
What?
The book? She already had 6 chapters. I'll make sure it's finished and published, and then you can read it and watch whatever docuseries is eventually based on it. Otherwise, I'll leave it be. Make sure it never sees the light of day.
There are other authors in this world, you know.
None that were Cara.
And what makes you think that I care about this book?
Everything? You always wanted to get famous. That's why you killed mostly white, female university students. Because newspapers don't cover less visible victims. This was always about your ego, Michael.
You talk too much, Siobhan. I'd cut your fucking tongue out if I could.
As much as I would have loved to see you tackled to the ground and tased, why don't you just tell me what I want to know, and I'll keep making you famous.
Cara enters and switches spots with Siobhan. Michael stays where he is. There is a brief pause while Cara puts her finger on the button of the recorder, picking up where they left off. Siobhan stands behind Cara.
You covered for me.
What the hell are you talking about?
I mean, of course you didn't actually actively cover for me, but you weren't lying to the cops or anything, but...
You're delusional.
You came into my dorm room once. This was a while after we broke up, so that you could get something that you left there.
My laptop case.
And you saw a jar on my desk.
I saw a jar? So what?
The tongue. Cara. And then you looked at me, and then you left. And then what happened? I sat there waiting for something to happen, wondering if I should run, but it would still be months before they caught me. And it was at that point I knew I had underestimated you.
I didn't. I didn't see. I didn't know.
I know. But you knew.
No.
You knew. On some level. Maybe you blocked it out, but either way, you didn't say anything. If you had, it might have saved a few lives, but you didn't. And so here we are, with you trying to assuage your guilt by trying desperately to bring closure to the whole Petra situation. But the surprising thing to me is that you seem to have developed some sense of guilt over it at all. I mean, I thought that we understood each other.
Understood?
Cara, it's just us.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
But you knew.
I knew.
Cara gets up and she and Siobhan switch places. A glance lingers as they pass each other. Siobhan sits.
Now, I know you're going to say, now why should I believe?
I believe you.
So is this what you wanted? You feel good now? You feel closure? See, the question for me would be, are you going to tell Lee? People have ideas about their loved ones. It can be upsetting to mess with that. On the other hand, if you don't tell them, that's kind of a big thing to live with. Either option makes romance a little difficult, doesn't it? I'm getting hungry.
I have to go, Michael.
Did you drive all the way from Vancouver just for this?
No, I'm staying
at the cabin. That is nice.
You asked about it on Cara's tape.
I liked it out there.
Cara and Lee took it over from my parents a couple years ago.
It was nice there, secluded.
What? What did you say?
You're going back to the cabin.
Did I say that? I have to go.
Siobhan shuts off the tape recorder, putting the actual cassette in her pocket and the recorder in her bag. She goes to the door and turns around.
Hey, do you want to know why I cut the tongues out?
No.
Cara is standing behind Michael. The door buzzes, startling Siobhan. She looks back and locks eyes with Cara.
Goodbye.
She exits. Michael and Cara are alone. They disappear into the dark. Scene. The cabin. Evening. Lee is passed out on the couch. Darcy sneaks in through the door. She moves across the cabin, trying not to wake Lee. She grabs her VHS tapes from the kitchen island. Just before she's about to leave through the front door, she stops, turns around and walks back to where Lee is sleeping. She knocks over his beer bottle, making a clattering noise, and then makes it seem as if she was just leaving as Lee awakens with a start.
Hey.
Hey, I just forgot my tapes.
I didn't see you today.
I thought maybe I should give you some space. You look like shit.
I'm grieving.
Convenient. She hasn't come back?
Usually it's about 1 to 2 years before she comes back.
She wouldn't just... What happens now?
I'll probably go home tomorrow morning.
Great, so it's just over?
What is?
Us. The team? The frickin' murder squad? What am I supposed to do now?
Darcy.
You get to go back to the city. Siobhan goes back to God knows where. And where will I be? Helping Daniel wash his banged up motorcycle?
Darcy, this was never permanent. We can't just play house forever.
We can at least make it last a little longer.
I have a daughter. She needs me.
Lucky her. To be needed. Sounds really neat.
I talked to your mom.
You what?
I got a few groceries yesterday, and when I came back, I saw a couple going into a cabin. There was a banged up motorcycle outside, so I went and talked to them.
You had no right to do that.
Darcy, if I was them, I just want to know that you're safe.
She doesn't give a shit. She can't wait until I'm not her problem anymore. What did she say?
She just wanted to know that you're safe.
Doesn't act like it. So what? I go home and just hope everything gets better?
You can always take a break. I hear the latch on your neighbor's cabin is busted.
I had this idea of you and Cara and Jane.
Looking at the pictures on the wall.
She looks so happy.
Yeah,
She looks like in every one, she knows exactly what picture she's in.
you remind me of her.
Shit, hope she isn't like me in a couple years.
I hope she is. I think it's cool that you're renting videotapes, by the way.
What?
No, I'm just saying, I went to that convenience store where they rent them, and that girl seems really nice.
What?
No, I'm just saying.
Lee, stop talking.
All I'm trying to say is.
He is cut off by the sound of an engine dying.
Holy shit, I knew it.
No, you didn't.
Sure I did.
Siobhan enters, holding large bags of stuff.
Hey,
Hey,
am I interrupting?
Yeah, Lee and I were having a moment.
Oh yeah? And I just busted in and ruined it?
Yeah, it was very rude.
Sorry for bailing like that.
I was worried that maybe you would.
Do what I do?
Yeah.
Understandable. I brought some stuff.
Lee takes the other bag from her and looks inside. He pulls out several small shovels and an old-looking contraption.
Shovels, spades, and what the hell is this?
It's a metal detector.
Working one?
It came from Value Village in Kiwana, and it was made in 1988.
She turns it on and hovers it around his belt buckle, to which it beeps.
And yes, it works.
Are we going to find lost nickels on the beach?
And also, what the fuck?
I went to see him.
How was it?
I couldn't get in. Wasn't on the visitors list. Honestly, it was pretty stupid of me to think I'd be able to do it. Look, I think there were things we didn't know about her. I think they were hard on her, and I think she swallowed some pills in a moment of weakness. I think that, but I don't know that. I'm not gonna know. We're not gonna know.
That really sucks.
I think it's just gonna suck for a long time.
So that's it? This whole investigation, our little team, disbanded? You guys going to move in together now?
Jesus.
We were getting somewhere with the whole Petra thing. I think maybe if...
She's here.
What?
What do you mean, she's here?
I think she's here. He talked about this place several times on the tape. This place meant something to him. I think he came back here.
The latch on the window was broken. That's how I got in. Could be something.
You think he brought Petra here?
And she didn't come back. Petra wore those big silver earrings around all the time.
So
we detect metal.
where do we start looking? We're surrounded by a forest. She could be anywhere.
You guys, it's 9 p.m. If we dig anywhere, we're going to need light, so...
Petra went missing in January.
So the ground would have been too hard.
Maybe not all of it.
What are you talking about?
How much dirt is in between the house and the foundation?
2 or 3 feet, I think, but I don't even know how to get down there.
Do you think he ripped up the floorboards or something?
Well, what's stopping us? I'll get my toolbox.
Lee grabs his toolbox from under the sink.
You guys cannot be serious.
We're close, Darcy.
Siobhan finds a bare spot on the floor and Lee puts his toolbox down. Darcy plants herself on the bare spot of the floor.
You can't just rip up the floorboards.
It's my cabin, Darcy. I'll rip up whatever I want.
Lee takes out a hammer and begins trying to get the claw under a nail.
This is crazy. We should at least wait until tomorrow.
Why?
Because this is nuts.
Move, Darcy.
No.
What's gotten into you?
It's too fast. It's going too fast.
What's going too fast?
This whole thing. What if we find something? What if there's something under here? Have you thought about that?
Isn't that what we're doing?
But like, what if there's a body or just bones? Like, I don't know how it works. I don't know.
Darcy, it's fine if you're scared. You don't have to look. Siobhan and I will do everything.
Siobhan comes over and helps Lee. Darcy looks nervous and impatient. Suddenly, she realizes something.
Hey, why don't you just use the door?
What?
Darcy overturns the rug to reveal the trap door. Lee and Siobhan stare at it for a long moment.
Did you know about that?
Honestly, had no idea.
They all go over and look at it. It's a small trap door with a little metal rung on it. After a moment, Lee grabs at the rung and pulls. It's stuck. Darcy and Siobhan grab and help. The trap door opens. Siobhan grabs a flashlight and peers down inside.
Can you see anything?
Not really.
We'll have to get closer. Here, give me a hand and I'll...
Darcy swings her legs into the hole.
I'll go.
Darcy, we can't.
Darcy disappears down into the trap door.
Darcy!
I'm fine.
Siobhan and Lee heave a sigh of relief.
Hand me the flashlight and the doohickey and a shovel.
They pass the tools down to her.
Man, it's actually pretty spacious down here. Ah!
What's going on?
I saw a spider.
Just be careful.
After a minute, we hear an intermittent beeping start up. Lee and Siobhan shine flashlights down into the darkness.
Okay, metal detector on.
Okay, we're here.
The beeping continues. Siobhan paces as the beeping continues, then increases. She stops and looks at the gap, as does Lee. A single nail flies up from between the floorboards.
Nail.
Siobhan sighs and continues to pace around. The beeping commences.
You okay?
I don't know.
You know, I was worried about you. You can't just run off like that.
Why not? What am I to you?
I don't know. What do you want?
What do you want?
I want you to come back with me tomorrow.
Lee, Jesus.
Stay in our guest room. Just don't go away.
Shouldn't invite everyone you sleep with to move in with you.
Is that who you are? Someone I sleep with?
Have you...
The beeping speeds up again. We hear a sound of dirt being shoveled aside. Something is thrown up from below.
Penny.
Siobhan leans against the kitchen island and breathes heavily.
Lee, have you ever considered that maybe this thing we're feeling isn't totally us? That weird...
Yes, I've thought about it. I don't care. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff happening in my brain, and there'll be a bunch of people telling me that I'm not dealing with it well, but I don't give a shit. It feels good, doesn't it? I'm going back tomorrow. I've been away too long. I need to see my little girl. Are you coming?
I don't know.
I'm asking.
I don't know.
What are you going to do with the research?
I'm gonna burn it.
And after that? Are you going to disappear again?
I don't know.
Do you want to disappear again?
No.
Then?
I don't want to do this right now. We don't have to do this right now.
I do. I have to do this.
You
right now.
You think you can just replace her? I'm not her replacement.
No one can replace her. No one.
Can we just,
Siobhan holds his shirt in her hands and smiles meekly.
The more we do that. If it doesn't mean the same thing to you as it does to me, then...
I didn't say that.
But if it doesn't...
It's not just you. It's her. It's her house. It's her life. It's her family.
It's your family.
Lee, the thing you're imagining of, the happy home with Siobhan, it's not what it would be. It's messed up and full of problems and barely functional. I'm barely functional.
Okay.
Lee, there's things you don't know.
I know everything I need to.
Siobhan nods. She walks away and into the kitchen, her back turned to Lee. She takes the cassette from her pocket. She drops it into the trash.
What are you doing?
Siobhan turns around. Just then, the metal detector goes off again. We hear shuffling and digging from below. Siobhan and Lee both look at the gap, waiting for something to be flung up. Lee goes over and shines his flashlight down.
Darcy? You find another penny?
Not a penny.
End of play. All right. Betsy, can you please help me pull everybody back up here on the screen?
Good job, gang.
All right, we got our one-person applause on camera. I can hear everybody in the attendees list applauding as well. Oh, good. Got some chats on applause. Good. All right, hey everybody. All right, thanks for coming out tonight. So we're gonna have a brief Q&A, and all heave big sighs of relief that went off pretty flawless. Yay technology, thank you internet. So James, you know, we talked a little bit about this when we did the show live, and you talked a little bit about the influence of the script, some commentary on true crime stories. Why don't you tell those of us who are hearing it for the first time where this came from?
Oh, sure. Well, I came from a few different places. One of them was my imagination was sort of set on fire by the untimely passing of the writer Michelle McNamara, who was a true crime author and died while writing a book. So I sort of like started to imagine her family situation, and also I heard a friend of a friend who had married his late wife's little sister, and that's basically all I knew about that situation. But the two things, like, I started imagining that what those relationships would look like, and then I feel like the thing that really like made me start writing the play was when a friend of mine passed away very suddenly, and I had all these sort of feelings about grief and how I handled them and how we handle them as a culture, etc. And so that's the thing that really made me start writing the play, is just needing a place to channel these feelings.
Okay. Just a reminder to the attendees still around, if you have a question for James or for me or for any of us, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll toss some more questions around while we're waiting for yours. So it's been a few months since we all performed this before, and noticed some significant changes in the script. You know, some character development, some scenes were given to other characters. Can you kind of tell us about that work that you did as a playwright, based on, you know, how much of it was based on, you know, what you saw when we did it, how much was already in the works? Give us some insight there.
Yeah, I'd say about half the changes were sort of in the works at the last reading, but the reading really helped me identify some places I wanted to go and some things that were not hitting my ear the way I wanted them to. And so since the reading, I've worked solo, but also with a director who's going to produce this in the fall, to write an entirely new draft. And as you probably heard, as the cast heard, there are some pretty significant changes in the play. And I'd say one of the biggest ones that was inspired by the reading was that I felt that previous drafts were a little too kind to all of the characters, which is something I often struggle with, is that I like the characters more as I write them, and so I want them to be okay. I want them to be nice to each other. And so in previous drafts, the last time I saw the reading, this had just been pointed out to me. So every time I noticed how many times someone apologized to someone else, how many times someone said that's okay. People said sorry a lot. In a way, it's a very Canadian script.
Yeah, right.
So I wanted to channel my newfound Americanness and make everyone a little more rude. Well, that's rude to say. I'm sorry. A little more blunt. Let's put it that way. And so, yes, in this reading, in this draft, my intention was to come a little harder face to face with everyone's grief, with everyone's resentment, have them be a little nastier to each other, and just have it sit there instead of allowing it to dissipate so easily.
Okay. All right, 35 attendees still in the room. Hey, we have a question here. So Jen Marshall asks us, how do all the actors feel about the changes that were made? Anyone can chime in.
I'll go.
I feel that the change with Michael and Cara was significantly altered. It was very interesting. I thought he was, I mean, there was a lot. I felt less ambiguity about Cara and more just getting to, delve into that character, and he became that, the person who kind of helped her do that, so to speak. But it was different dynamic, I thought, than from before, where it was more of like a Hannibal Lecter type thing. It was different, like a quid pro quo thing. It was a little different.
Yeah. So I didn't do the last reading. I did the first reading like a year ago-ish. So I hadn't looked at the script in a while. And I definitely also really like the change in Cara. How she's not, like, in the first one, you could tell there was like some sort of coldness about her, but she's not as, I guess, like, saintly in this one, not as much as like the shining beacon for the people, like this shining example, which I found very realistic because a lot of, like, because I used to study criminal justice and like true crime and stuff like that, and a lot of the people who go into it have like darkness within them to some extent. And like, if you read the book by the guy who sort of invented the serial killer investigation crime unit, if you read his book about it, he did a great job, but he wasn't a saint. And I thought that was like really interesting to add that depth to Cara, and I really liked it.
I will say that the Cara and Michael scenes, I think since the last time it was in Steel River, I think I rewrote 95% of that dialogue. Like, it's quite different.
Very different.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and I think so. The change that I noticed the most was with Lee. He became, I think, immensely more likable to me. So Troy, why don't you talk about what you sensed in Lee as far as those changes?
Yeah, he's definitely he's more likable. He feels more human, at least to me. So I definitely like the way Lee's character evolved. One of the more interesting challenges for me as an actor is to keep in mind that each rewrite is a whole new play. So I have to almost consciously block out what I think I learned about the character the last two times we performed it, because it's not a cumulative history. It's a new character with each rewrite, which is, it was a really cool challenge that I've never had to deal with before.
Yeah. So speaking of rewrites, I'll pop a question that came up in our conversations, in our virtual rehearsals that we've had. So one of my favorite pieces of dialogue was cut, and that was when the trio at Darcy's League compared themselves to the Avengers, and they all had to pick their own whose character they were and why. There's a great moment when Siobhan has no idea what's going on and just kind of, tries to come up with Thor's name and just can't.
Arms.
So yeah, arms. So did it hurt you to cut that? And will we see that in another one of your scripts?
It definitely did hurt to cut, because it was very fun to write and have this sort of, I sort of thought of it as this little oasis in the middle of the play where everyone's like joking with each other and sort of finding a familiarity. And I mean, I liked it. And so it is, and I like talking about superheroes a lot, and I have a lot to say. So that'll like come up in my work sometimes. But again, I found it was the thing where it was just, everyone was being a bit too nice to each other with it. And I couldn't find the reason it was there other than that it was nice.
Okay. Yeah, we landed on that too. It didn't really further the plot or develop the characters much. So, we had to send one of our favorite children away.
I would still say that it was useful for me just to know them a little bit along the way.
Yeah, sure. Question in here from the audience from Carolyn Dixon for Paul. How did you feel about playing that type of character?
Yeah, so the character obviously is a despicable person. I mean, but he's described mainly by the other characters he does not interact with. So you kind of have to, hear the cues from the script, about how he is. And it's obviously disturbing character, but in his mind, he is what he is. He's not shy about it at all. And he's much more interested about, getting into the minds of other people. So it was, it's uncomfortable, obviously, to play that type of a role. But, it's also very interesting the way James wrote him. I think he's not he doesn't have a lot of the same tropes you would expect. So I thought that there's a lot you can do with that character, whoever the actor is playing him. I think the way he's written, because it's up to interpretation by the way and you're only subject to the way the other characters kind of describe him a little bit, but nobody really knew him that well, who's except for Cara.
Yeah, great. Okay, I see one more here. This one is for James. Aaron is asking about the run times. How did they compare between your different edits? And is that something you kept in mind?
It's always something I keep in mind a little bit because I didn't feel that this play is a play that was less than an hour. So I didn't. I am always like, I hope it's long because I think it's long. By long I mean like 80 to 90 minutes, and it's always been in that range between drafts. I'd say like the longest it's ever been would read it like an hour and 40 minutes, and the shortest it's ever been is like an hour and 20. But it's always been hovering in that range. And I think between the reading and this one, it stayed pretty much the same, even though I rewrote a lot of it. Like I rewrote every Michael and Cara scene, but I knew the scene was still there. So no scenes were cut, really. I guess one scene was cut, but pretty much the whole skeleton of the play is still there. I just filled it in with some different things in this edit.
Mm-hmm. I know when we did the readings, we added an intermission just because we felt that there was a good break in the action. Did you intentionally not write one in?
Yeah, I've definitely written drafts of this with an act break, but I condensed the action here a little bit more and sort of had it drive a little harder, and just sort of came to the conclusion that it should just drive right through and be 80 to 90 minutes straight through, which is personally what I love in a play anyway. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, concession sales generally don't enjoy that as much, but
to the concession workers.
Yeah. All right, so here, seeing nothing else from the audience cast. Any parting words here for our audience or for James?
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
And Jeff and Steel River for putting all this together. This was such a fun thing to do during this crazy time.
Yeah.
You're alive.
Very, very interesting. And yeah, thank you, Betsy, for doing so much, putting so much into it. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. You can't see Betsy right now, but boy, she worked her butt off.
Yeah, and James, best for the world premiere. That's great. And
thanks.
Great.
Yeah,
it was supposed to happen this month or in March actually, but obvious things happened.
Yeah. So hey, there's the unsung hero. Hey, Betsy. All right. So with that, I think we'll all say goodbye, and I will underscore what I asked of all of you at the top here. The arts organizations, the theater, the community theaters all around us, we need your help. So please find them online. They will all have donate buttons. Please click them, and if you can, please give and keep us around for when we can all get together again. So thank you all, and good night, and thanks for coming out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.